That's the topic. Resurrection gives us a different flavor than rebirth. Rebirth, renewal, transformation, showing up new again. You know, He does create, make all things new. When I was watching us light candles, I realized that this is our communion. And for those of you who are used to, maybe as children or even as elders, used to communion, there is a way that communion is a way of remembering that the Christ presence lives in us. That we are the light. And that when we light the candle, we're lighting the candle inside ourselves to see ourselves new again. And the past is gone. And the fear has dissolved. And we're free to be that which we're called to be right now. And you know that's every moment, every breath. We're new again. Life flows through us as God. Goodness, creativity, possibility, wholeness. And sometimes I think we get really attached. We get really attached to thinking that we're a body, thinking that we're what our parents thought of us, or our employer thinks of us, or our partner or our kids think of us. And we forget that we're free and unlimited right now. That we're sustained. I thought of this in the car when we were riding. We're sustained by the love of God. And what I recognize is that I've been thinking that there's a God out there or in me that sustains me. And then I realized that we're sustained by loving God. By loving the God in us. That what sustains us is what we love. That's our rebirth. That's our renewal. That's our transformations. And when we forget and we love the world we see, or the things of the world, or the people in the world, or the specialness, or blah, 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 all this stuff, we lose a sense of what sustains us. We lose our life. We lose our purpose. We lose our self. The one self. The one self. The child of God, the Son of God, that we are at one. All one. So what happens when you light a candle? What happens when you light a candle? I mean, some of us do it in a routine way, and by the way, I suggest that. If you don't do it already, do it at home. Get one of those 7-day candles and light a candle, and use it as your reminder for yourself, or get one of those electric candles over there and use it as a reminder for yourself. And put into that candle an experience of how you see yourself, or perhaps the one you want to see, in a renewed or reborn way. And allow that light to transform your experience so that you translate it totally differently, and you don't see yourself or someone else or that situation the way you thought it was. That light itself will dissolve all darkness, all shadow, all separation. That light itself will transmute everything into the light of God. It sounds like magic, and sometimes it's talked about like it's magic. But it's not magic. That light disappears all darkness. That's just the truth. When you were a kid, I don't know about you, but we were handed flashlights if we thought there was a boogeyman in the closet or under the bed, and we were invited to look. And I'm suggesting to you, if you have some boogeymen in your life or in your own consciousness or unconsciousness, I'm inviting you to shine a light really bright. Whether it's written or it's spoken or it's just visualized on that dark place, and watch it disappear. You know, education, gaining knowledge, gaining information, really means leading yourself out of darkness into the light. It really means seeing the light. And what happens when you see the light? You stop seeing the body and you begin seeing the spirit, the light within. And you stop focusing on what the world has called or named you to be. You are not a body. You could say you're nobody. Or maybe you could say you are the all-one, the ever-present one, the omniscient one, the all-powerful one, resides in you as you, and until you claim it and name it to be true, you will not know that it's so. So what would happen if we just decided we are willing to let go of what we thunk we were and start naming and claiming that we are not which we formerly thought ourselves to be? I'm not that, and I don't know who I really am, but I'm willing to look and see. So what is looking? Respect, I like to think of, because it means looking again, looking deeper. That word actually means being willing to look beneath the apparency at who maybe I really am, instead of claiming that I am what somebody told me, what I learned in grade school, or maybe what I've been walking around calling myself. You are unlimited. Yes, in power and in peace, just like we said. You're unlimited. You probably have not yet even tapped the true possibility of who you are. And what I'm suggesting to you is that you be willing to look. Recently, I was noticing that Robert and I have moved a lot, and we're still moving centers around and move furniture around. And frankly, change rooms, change our life, change our direction, according to the will of spirit or energy or inspiration within. When joy calls us to move and make a change, we make a change. By the way, Holy Spirit, the whole spirit of joy, holy energy, holy joy, holy aliveness, that's what you're listening to. When something gives you more life, a renewal of spirit, that's when you're listening to the voice of God. It must inspire you and get you up out of bed and up out of your chair and get you moving and changing and working and doing. A lot of us have spent, a lot of humanity has spent too much time waiting for them to do it to us. And what I'll tell you is we can go on waiting until the cows come home, and they will come home every night for a good meal. But it's not going to happen that you're going to find that place we call enlightenment, because enlightenment is an everyday work. An everyday work. A willingness to constantly be moving yourself in the process of serving what? Serving light. Serving God. Serving love. And how do you serve the unlimited? How do you serve the unlimited? Not the limited, because don't we often think we're supposed to be serving the limited, those poor, lonely, me, all those folks. How do you serve the unlimited? What you do is you serve the God, the unlimited, within everyone. No matter what their physical state, no matter what their mental state, no matter what their financial state, you serve the God within, the unlimited within everyone. And as you serve their limitlessness, you serve your own. As you remember and remind yourself there's God, you remember your own godness. Very interesting. Now I started talking about change, and then I slipped over here to this other area. What I want to tell you is when I looked at, so why aren't we changing? I mean, daily, obviously, in every way. Well, the best I can gather is that most people are afraid. That most people have learned, kind of like the old wineskins, well, I like this old body, I've been in her for a long time, So most of us get very habituated, even attached, dependent on who we were yesterday, or even a minute ago. But what does it take to change? It takes a willingness to let go, to undo, to forgive and erase, to see what is true. See, when I look at my own life, I have to notice that I was raised on change. I mean, I don't know, Robert is 60 times in 60-some years he's lived. Mine is probably half that, but nevertheless, it's well over 30 times I've moved as a child and as an adult. And quite honestly, I can't remember a time that we've moved that I wasn't excited and delighted about the possibility of change. But most of the folks I hang out with, I hate to move, I don't like it, everything's unsettled, everything's chaotic, which is why, by the way, we get settled within a weekend or two at max. Because I do like to get settled again, but I like change because it gives me an opportunity to be new again. To be new again. A new job, new again. A new grade in school, new again. A new place to live, new friends, a new organization to join, a new class to take, a new set of clothes to wear. What is it about being new that anybody would want to avoid? And I'm asking you that. Is it the challenge of fitting in with this new place to be? Is it the thinking that you must rely only on yourself to accommodate for the unfamiliarity? Is it the possibility that maybe it will not be as good as it was in the past? And what I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to tell you because I only know that experimenting or exploring or trying out things is where you find out that it will always get better if your mind trusts that it will get better. If you believe it will be hard, difficult, or dangerous, or cause problems, guess what? It will. It's hard for most people to understand that this world functions at your will, according to what you think. It creates out of your thought, your imagery, your possibility. And so it doesn't happen to you, it happens from you, for you. So what's going to happen if you say, you know what, Betty Lue, I want to feel new again when I get up from this chair? Would you be willing to take a deep breath, or maybe 5 or 10 deep breaths as you sit there, trusting, freeing yourself from what you thought, and allow the aches and pains to go away, allow the self-doubt to go away, allow yourself to feel yourself brand new again? And then I have to ask myself, if I'm going to change, what am I going to change to or for? Well, I'm going to change for good, for God. I'm going to change for love's sake. I'm going to change for a more heavenly experience. I'm going to change to be a bright light right here in this seat. Now, and now, and now, and now. You see, rebirth is natural. It happens with every breath. It happens when you go to sleep at night. You kind of die to your old self, and then in the morning you wake up and you're born again. But some of you don't sound or act like you're born again. You sound like, I hate getting up in the morning, meaning I don't want to be new. And I'm going to suggest you fake it until you make it. I'm going to suggest that you, tomorrow morning, tonight when you go to bed, actually that's even better, tonight, talk to yourself as you're falling asleep and say, tomorrow I'm going to be new again. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be free. I'm going to be creative. I'm going to be responsive. I'm going to be forgiving and healing and positive and all the things I want to be in the morning. And I'm trusting that this sleep, that this lying down of my body and this shutting down of my active mind is going to allow me to awaken tomorrow morning with a fresh mind. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. It's one of my favorites, because through experimentation, and I have to say to you that I am a great explorer experimenter, this works. You must lay down your old self and get up a renewed self. Brand new, fresh. And when you wake up in the morning and your eyes open, you must see the day in a new way, as God wants you to see it. And if God doesn't work for you, because for some of you, God is not your word, can you allow yourself to use that window washer I call forgiveness and see the world in a loving way tomorrow morning? See the bedroom that you're in, the walls, the ceiling, where you place your feet when you get up. When you look in the mirror, see yourself in a new way. And if you saw yourself new, what would you say? How about if you're the living sanctuary for you? And how about if you thank you? How about if you thank you for being alive? How about if you thank you for seeing things new again? How about if you say thank you for the day you're about to give yourself? It will be good. Now, some of you in this room, I'm aware, already do a lot of this because I can feel your energy when I hang out with you. But some of you in this room have lost the ability to do that, or so you thought. But I'm going to tell you, you're born with it. It's natural. It's a choice that you make with every breath you breathe and every thank you you give to yourself. Goodness, love, peace, power, health, youth live within you right now. And there's nothing your body can take away from you. This is all from you to you, the goodness of God. See, I'm looking and listening right now for not only my voice within, but for the voice in you, and the breath in you, and the aliveness in you, and the transformation in you. And I'm looking for your willingness to be made new again by you, for you. What if this whole thing is just a joke, a myth, a gig that we're here hanging out in until we finally remember that God has created you for your own pleasure? That you have created you for your own pleasure. Or if you want, for your own suffering. It's not the world that you need to ask to change. It is you need to choose to change. I am willing to be all that I am, now, and now, and now. And I give thanks that this is so. I forgive myself for any time thinking, believing, acting like I am less in the presence of God's love, right now in this body. And I know that to be true about each of you. I know that we have often forsaken ourselves. And it's time for us to take ourselves down from the cross of crucifixion, self-crucifixion. Lay ourselves down and let ourselves die to our old self and be born again in the light of love. This is our holy work. And this is a gift we give to ourselves and to one